Hi, Carl from Stove World UK here again. Today we are looking at the Ecosy Rock 5 wood burning and multi-fuel stove. This is the Ecosy stove's first fully cast iron stove. So the stove itself is 5 kilowatts. So it's Defra Approved, Eco Design ready, and also complies with the new Clear Sky scheme and is accredited for that. So overall, the efficiency on both wood and smokeless coal is around about 80%, which is a great sign of the stove's quality and workings, which is a very high efficiency level, especially for a cast iron stove. So they generally actually are a little bit less. So the stove's now going fully. We've got the wood option in place. So this stove benefits from a really cool little grate. So when it's closed, it's for wood. And when you pull this side lever here open, that's for when you're burning smokeless coal. So that fully opens up the grate and allows lots of air to rush up underneath, which is what you want when you're burning smokeless coal. You'd also coincide you'd have this primary air opener as well, which again forces lots of nice air underneath. Whereas we're burning just wood today, so we've got this primary air closed and we're just controlling it with the two levers here. So the top one here, which is the air wash, so air is flowing over the glass. And then the secondary burn, which is opening and closing a flap at the back, which then funnels air over the top of the fire, which you can see sort of rushing through these holes here. So let's just quickly grab this log here and sort of close this right down. Let's hook it in there. It does come with an oven glove, but I've misplaced it. As you can see, it's now died right off, starved of oxygen, and now we're going to slowly open it back up again. And you see the sudden rush of air back into the chamber, and you'll see the flames slowly licking up again. So as you see in there, it's fully closed off and then opened back up again. It's worth noting that this is the non-Defra version. So the Defra version will have a little metal stops in the vent just prevent it being fully closed down. It's a part of the Defra testing. The idea of Defra is to reduce the smoke emissions output from the stove overall, and the best way of doing that is by adding a small metal stop to prevent the full closure. It'll be the case with any sort of Defra stove. So it's still closed down, but it's not quite as much as this has here without the Defra stops in place. So the stove, as I mentioned, is a fully cast iron construction, and it's got a really thick body, which is so important for a cast iron stove. Obviously cast iron can crack, so you want to make sure when you're having a cast iron stove that the cast iron is really thick. That also helps to retain the heat. So when the fire goes out, a bit like the cast iron radiators, it helps to sort of maintain the heat for as long as possible and keeps throwing it out into the room for a while after the stove's gone out. So inside the stove, as I mentioned, we've got the grate and then we've got the log guard. We've got a full fire brick lining and a fire brick baffle with a secondary metal baffle above the top of that. That helps to recirculate the heat inside the stove instead of it going straight at the chimney. What that does is that boosts up the efficiency levels and also cleans up the air coming out of it. So it's reburning all the particulates coming off of the wood, reburns it before it goes up the chimney, which is a big part of it being Defra Approved and Eco Design ready. 5-inch top end rear flue outlet, which is really important for the installer like that, because installing a 5-inch liner is a lot easier often than installing a 6-inch liner, and also a 5-inch twin wall chimney system as well. A little bit cheaper and easier to install, so it's always good for that. On the base itself, it doesn't exceed 100C, so we've got it inside the chamber here, but if you wanted it freestanding on, say, a glass half or slate half, it can fit on that a 12mm half because it doesn't exceed 100C to the base, which is again very useful. We've got the fittings here. Comes with an oven glove, as I mentioned, good handle, really nice quality, and obviously cast iron door with a heat resistant glass in as well. Nice big view of the fire. Inside again, it's got a nice wide firebox, which means you can fit a good sized log in it, whilst also maintaining it at that 5 kilowatt nominal heat output, which is so crucial for many people because you don't have to have an air brick installed into the room. Good thing about this stove is it's got quite a good range, about 3.5 all the way up to 6.5 kilowatts. So it's got a good range of heat output there, which is a good benefit of these, what we class as larger 5 kilowatt stoves. So 5 kilowatts the holy grail. A lot of manufacturers will try and get them all below that level. But I think that is about it. As always, I'm sure we've missed lots of things, but I just want to show you the product, show it working, and hope it helps you sort of understand the product a bit further. But as always, happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much.